The Pennsylvania Republican Bill Shuster is the chairman of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. So this is a guy who's directly responsible for policies in the realm of transportation. And Politico is reporting that Shelley Rubino, who's an airline lobbyist, she's currently in a relationship with Bill Shuster. So you have the guy on the Transportation Committee and the transportation lobbyist who are boinking. Yeah, there's no conflict of interest there, right? So Shuster said that they have a, quote, private and personal relationship. He said, quote, my office has in place a policy that deals with personal relationships that cover my staff and myself. This was created in consultation with legal counsel and goes further than is required by law. All right, do you get what he's saying there? He's saying, guys, don't worry about it. Yes, I'm in a sexual relationship with a lobbyist who can get favors from me because I'm on the Transportation Committee. But don't worry about it because I spoke to my lawyer before I fucked her. Number one, no, you didn't. Number two, let's say you did, and the lawyer said it's okay. You have the worst lawyer in human history. That is clearly not okay, not ethical, and probably illegal. You're gonna have sex with the person whose job it is to come to you to ask for favors to help her private company. And I'm supposed to think you're not gonna do favoritism. I'm supposed to think that you're gonna say, no, I will stand on principle and look out for my constituents. I'm not gonna give you any extra government money because you're just like anybody else to me. No, what you're gonna say is, hey, we had fun last night, didn't we? That was a great meal we had. And, the fun we had later on in the room, know what I'm saying? So, yeah, whatever you want, of course. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to say, no to you, my wife, who I love dearly, or my person I'm dating, who I absolutely adore. No! I'm sure you're going to treat her just like everybody else. So, Raw Story says the following, quote, the House Committee handles an array of issues related to the airline industry and recently conducted a hearing on revamping air traffic control at the Federal Aviation Administration. It's gotten to the point now in Washington where they're so immensely corrupt that they don't bat a fucking eyelash about their corruption. Like, they share their corruption, and then if you say, hey, that's corrupt, they go, no, don't question my honor. Anyway, let me go back to being more corrupt. They're just out in the open with it now, man. At least back in the day, people had the sense to, like, hey, I'm boinking the lobbyist, but shh, don't tell anybody because I know it's really wrong. Now it's just like, I consulted my lawyer, and yes, I'm having sex with the lobbyist, but it's okay because something, look away, mind your goddamn business. Dude, you have a very serious job. This is what people don't get. And Jon Stewart says this better than anybody else. He says, comedy is often serious people doing an unserious thing. Politics is unserious people doing a serious thing. Like, you have a really serious job, and you're just this clown of a human being who doesn't take it seriously at all. I mean, you're responsible for the taxpayers, your constituents, their money, the public purse, and you're just like, I don't care, man, I'm horny. I'm going to have sex with the lobbyist, and I'm going to do favors for the lobbyist, and you're going to shut the fuck up about it because I have power, and just mind your goddamn business. No, your job is to represent us, asshole. Your job is to do the right thing for your constituents. Your job is to make sure that tax dollars are spent appropriately, and your job is to make sure that you don't get fucking corrupted because you have some sort of a relationship with a lobbyist like that. But that's the case in America now, man. I mean, I forget the numbers, but there's some ridiculous amount of lobbyists. The ratio of lobbyists to politicians is way out of whack. Like, there's hundreds of lobbyists or thousands of lobbyists for every congressperson. And it's at the point now where all they do, they go to their lobbyist buddies and they say, how do you want me to vote on this piece of legislation? Tell me and I'll do it. I'm not kidding. We've covered ALEC, for example. ALEC, which is like a group where lobbyists and politicians go to blow each other, they come up with bills, and then they give them to the politicians, and then sometimes politicians just bring up the bills in their respective legislatures and don't change anything about it. They say, here, I'm proposing this. Let's vote on it. Is this what the founders had in mind? Go talk to your representative from Coca-Cola or Merck or ExxonMobil or an investment bank and let them write the legislation and then you propose it. And then, of course, what happens? I mean, it's all behind the scenes, but you have the lobbyists buying lunch for these people. They go on vacations with them. They play golf with them. They're their buddies. So, of course, they're going to look out for them. And then, of course, around campaign time, who gives all the money to the politicians? It's the representatives of these corporations and the rich and the lobbyists. So there's not even... People in Washington are now closer with their lobbyists than they are with other politicians. And that's totally backwards.